Guys, what's up? This will be a reading for what's the vibe of your upcoming weekend. I'm going to do all 12 zodiacs individually. Okay, just a quick mini read for all the zodiacs. Okay, for your the vibe of your upcoming weekend. Okay, timestamps will be down below in the comment section, okay? So let's start with Aries. What is the vibe for your upcoming weekend, Aries? What is the vibe for your upcoming weekend? What's the vibe for Aries this upcoming weekend? Let's see. 8 of Cups, the Empress, 7 of Swords, Knight of Cups, 7 of Cups, Queen of Cups, King of Cups underneath it all. Okay, major signs showing up here. We got Taurus, Libra, is what I see. So Aries, this weekend feels emotionally heavy, but also strangely clarifying, okay? Somebody's realizing they can't keep emotionally investing in something that's draining them anymore. With the 8 of Cups next to the Empress, this could be someone pulling their energy back to protect their peace, confidence, their body, their money, or emotional well-being. Okay, there's this vibe of I deserve better than confusion. Okay, but then you hit this 7 of Swords and the energy gets slippery. Somebody around you may not fully be transparent this weekend. This doesn't always have to mean cheating or betrayal. Okay, sometimes it's avoidance, sneaking around emotionally, half-truths, disappearing act, or somebody trying to keep their options open without being honest about it. Okay, this Knight of Cups coming after that feels like someone returning with emotions, flirtation, apologies, or sweet words. But paired with the 7 of Cups, there's still confusion here. Mixed signals. Fantasy versus reality. Somebody may tell you exactly what you want to hear while still not fully knowing what they actually want here. Okay, the emotional part of this reading gets deep though, because you end on the Queen of Cups with the King of Cups underneath it all. That's emotional mirroring. Okay, two people who clearly feel something emotionally, even if nobody is fully saying everything outright. Okay, this can definitely point towards a soul deep attraction, connection, emotional attachment, reconciliation energy, or two people quietly thinking about each other all weekend. But the real issue here is emotional maturity versus emotional confusion. One person may be emotionally available while the other is still avoiding clarity, keeping secrets, or juggling emotions internally. Okay, so somebody's lurking but not fully approaching. There could be late night conversations, emotional check-ins, someone missing you but acting weird. Okay, attraction mixed with distrust. Or this is someone deciding whether to walk away from emotional inconsistency for good. Okay, but the lesson here is that intuition is louder than words this weekend. If something feels off, delayed, inconsistent, or emotionally foggy, trust that feeling instead of getting lost in potential. I just saw 444. Okay, Aries. So, Taurus. Let's see what the vibe of your upcoming weekend is. Taurus. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Taurus? What is the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Taurus? What's the vibe? What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Taurus? Okay. Page of Swords, Page of Pentacles, Six of Wands, the High Priestess, the World, King of Cups, Knight of Cups underneath here. Pisces energy here, Cancer, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius here with the World card. Okay, so this weekend feels very observant, okay, emotionally curious and low-key significant. Somebody is watching, thinking, checking in, lurking, or wanting to communicate, but they may not fully know how to approach yet. Okay, the Page of Swords with the Page of Pentacles feels like somebody trying to figure out whether something is worth investing in or revisiting. Okay, then this energy shifts hard with the Six of Wands. Okay, attention is on you this weekend. Recognition, visibility. Okay, people noticing you more. This could literally be social media attention, compliments, messages, someone checking your stories, or carrying this confidence energy that turns heads without even trying. Okay, but the High Priestess says not everything is being spoken out loud. Sorry about that. Somebody's hiding deeper feelings, deeper emotions here. Or you're intuitively picking up on things people aren't directly saying. There's a strong silent knowing here. You may already know somebody's intentions before they even speak. Then you move into the World, which feels like closure, leveling up, completing a cycle, or emotionally graduating from an old version of yourself. For some of you, this weekend could feel like finally emotionally detaching from confusion and realizing you've outgrown certain people or patterns. Okay, the emotional energy gets very deep at the end, though, with the King of Cups and this Knight underneath. Somebody definitely has feelings here, strong ones, but this feels more emotionally controlled than the last. What was I finna say? Cycle? I lost my train of thought here. Instead of chaos or mixed signals, this feels like someone slowly building the courage to express emotions in a mature way. So either someone quietly is watching you, doing some subtle flirting, okay, having emotional realization. You could be receiving attention unexpectedly, messages from someone emotionally reserved. There could be a closure conversation, or finally feeling emotionally done with chasing validation here. So the vibe here is people see your value now, especially after a period where you may have felt overlooked, and somebody who kept their emotions hidden may not be able to stay silent much longer here. Okay? So that's what I have for you, Taurus. Let's move on to Gemini. Alright, Gemini. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend? What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Gemini? What's the vibe for Gemini for the upcoming weekend? Okay, I just messed all of that up. Just saw the Tower. Give me a couple more shuffles for Gemini. What is the vibe for the upcoming weekend? For Gemini. Okay. So Gemini, you got Wheel of Fortune, Nine of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Two of Swords, Temperance, with the Ace of Pentacles underneath. So first thing I'm noticing this weekend feels like a turning point here for Gemini. Okay, you literally start with the Wheel of Fortune. So something is shifting. Mentally, emotionally, financially, or within a connection. The energy feels like life trying to redirect you, Gemini, towards something more stable and aligned. Okay, even if you're hesitant at first, okay, but then you move into the Nine of Wands, and that's showing exhaustion, guardedness, emotional burnout, okay. Gemini, you look tired of carrying the same emotional weight or dealing with repetitive cycles. It's like, I want peace, but I don't fully trust what's coming towards me yet. Okay, the Queen of Pentacles changes the energy though. This weekend may pull you into grounding yourself here. Okay, focusing on money, home life, self-care, stability, long-term security, or protecting your peace here. Okay, some of you Geminis may literally spend the weekend trying to get your life organized again after emotional chaos. Okay, then you hit this Nine of Cups, and this is interesting because emotionally there is satisfaction trying to come in. Okay, this could be getting attention, receiving some good news, spending time doing what you enjoy, emotional validation, or finally feeling emotionally fulfilled after a stressful period here. But someone here still looks conflicted with the Two of Swords. There's avoidance here, indecision, trying not to fully look at something yet. It feels like some of you Geminis know that a decision or truth is sitting in front of you, okay? But you may delay acting on it this weekend, okay? The Temperance is the overall spiritual advice of the spread, okay? Slow down, recollaborate. Don't react too quickly. This weekend is asking you to emotionally regulate instead of spiraling into overthinking or impulsive reactions, okay? Balance is everything here. And then underneath this deck, you get the Ace of Pentacles. That's real hidden energy. Okay? There's a new opportunity trying to open up. It could be a new beginning, a fresh offer, improved finances, stability, healthier relationship dynamic, or something tangible you can actually build on here. But some of you have to stop staring at what's unstable long enough to recognize what's solid. Okay? So the vibe of this weekend, some of you Geminis may look calm on the outside, but internally you're processing a major shift. Okay? You're tired of emotional inconsistency, tired of uncertainty. This feels like a weekend where you quietly decide what deserves your energy moving forward. And once you emotionally decide that you're done with something, the wheel starts turning fast afterwards. Okay? 15:55 on my timer. So that's what I have for you, Gemini. So, Cancer. What's the vibe of your upcoming weekend? What is the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Cancer? What is the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Cancer? Cancer, let's see. The Emperor, Temperance, Six of Swords, Justice, Ten of Wands, Four of Swords, Four of Pentacles underneath here. So we got Aries, Sagittarius, Libra. Cancer, the vibe this weekend feels very handle business first, breathe later. But weirdly enough, it also looks productive, stabilizing, and emotionally clarifying at the same time. Right away with the Emperor and the Ten of Pentacles, this feels like taking control of your life again. Okay, structure, boundaries, real world priorities, family matters, finances, responsibilities, long-term planning. All of that feels highlighted. Okay, some of you are focused on your home, your bills, your work, parents, children, or you're trying to get your life more organized after emotional chaos. There's a strong, I need peace and stability energy here. Okay, this Six of Swords with Justice says this weekend may involve mentally moving away from drama, confusion, or emotionally draining people. Okay, you may decide to stop arguing, stop chasing for some of you, stop over-explaining, or emotionally detached from something that's been exhausting you. Justice brings accountability too. Okay, truths become very obvious this weekend. Someone's actions are speaking louder than their words. Okay, with this Ten of Wands, it shows you caring a lot though. Responsibilities feel heavy. You may feel like everybody needs something from you at once. This could even look like catching up on the chores or errands, dealing with family obligations, emotional burnout, trying to hold everything together, feeling mentally overloaded while still functioning, okay? But the Four of Swords says your spirit is demanding rest, okay? Not fake rest either, actual rest. Your energy feels like it's been running on survival mode for a long time. So the weekend may naturally slow you down, isolate you a little, or push you into recharge mode. Okay? It may push you to stay home more, avoid crowds, or emotionally pull back to think. But underneath it all is this Four of Pentacles. It says you're protecting yourself hard right now. Protecting your energy, protecting your peace, your money, your heart. There's a guardedness here. Okay, you may not feel super emotionally open this weekend, and honestly, the cards kind of support that. Okay, this feels like light coldness and more like emotional preservation. So Cancer, looks like somebody's trying to regain control over their life while emotionally exhausted at the same time. You're getting more serious about what you deserve, your time, and what doesn't. Okay, this weekend feels mature, grounded, reflective, and focused on stability over chaos. So, not super reckless or wild energy, more reset my life, okay? Clear my head, protect my peace, okay? So, that's what I have for you, Cancer. We're gonna move to Leo. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Leo? What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Leo? Show me the vibe for the upcoming weekend here for Leo. Leo, High Priestess, Wheel of Fortune, Page of Cups, Ace of Swords, Knight of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Ten of Wands underneath. So I see Taurus, Cancer, Sagittarius energy, Pisces also. So big turning point energy sitting all over this weekend. Okay, the first thing coming through is movement. Okay, something shifts emotionally, mentally, or even in communication that changes the tone of your weekend. Okay, in a way you didn't fully expect though. With the Wheel of Fortune here, it feels like the universe is trying to redirect you towards something that's actually better aligned for you. Okay, even if it starts off randomly or catches you off guard, you could receive a message, an apology, an invitation, some flirtation, or emotional check-in from somebody with Page energy here, the Page of Cups. This feels soft, curious, emotional, and a little unexpected. For some of you Leos, this is someone testing the waters with you emotionally. For others of you, this is finally feeling emotionally lighter after carrying heavy energy for too long. This Ace of Swords is cutting straight through some sort of confusion. Okay, a truth gets exposed this weekend. Something clicks mentally where you suddenly understand somebody's intentions or your own feelings, or what direction you need to go in moving forward. Conversations feel important this weekend. Somebody may finally say what they've been holding back, or you may find yourself speaking more honestly than usual. The Knight of Pentacles slows things down a bit, though. This weekend isn't given reckless energy. It's given, I need to think long term. Okay, you may find yourself being more cautious with your energy, your money, your time, or even your emotions. There's progress happening here, but it's steady, not rushed. Some of you are realizing that consistency matters more than temporary excitement right now. Okay, and this Six of Cups brings nostalgia heavily into this reading. Somebody from the past could resurface. Yeah, I know you hate to hear that Six of Cups energy, or this is an old memory, or emotions start coming back up here. This can also feel like reconnecting with people, places, or situations that make you emotional in a familiar way. This may even be music. I don't know where that just come from, but there's a sentimental undertone all over this weekend. All right, but underneath all of this is the Ten of Wands underneath the deck. So despite the emotional openings and clarity coming in, Leo, you still look tired, okay? Mentally overloaded, carrying too much. It feels like part of this weekend is realizing you can't keep carrying everybody else's weight while ignoring your own exhaustion here. All right? So I see a turning point. I see fate shifting, emotional messages or a surprise, truth, clarity, slow but stable progress, the past resurfacing, and being emotionally exhausted underneath it all. So this honestly feels like one of those weekends where you start seeing things differently after one conversation, or having one realization, or one unexpected interaction here. Somebody could come back around, or you may emotionally revisit something you thought you were over. But the bigger lesson here is recognizing what's worth your energy moving forward, because Leo looks done carrying situations that drain more than they give, okay? So that's what I have for you, Leo. All right, Virgos. Let's see what the vibe is for your upcoming weekend, Virgo. What is the vibe for Virgo's upcoming weekend? The vibe for the upcoming weekend for Virgo. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for my Virgo? What's the vibe? Okay, off top you got a card falling out here. Hangman. Page of Wands, Judgment, Ace of Cups, Five of Swords, Page of Pentacles with the Ten of Wands underneath, okay? Some of you could be dealing with a Leo. They had the Ten of Wands in that exact same position. Pisces energy, Scorpio energy here. So Virgo, first off, again, like I say, Pisces and Scorpio strongly. And for some of you, I feel Leo energy lingering around this situation too. Okay. I just said that. So this weekend feels like a pause before a breakthrough. Okay. It's weird because the energy starts off slowly or mentally stuck, but then suddenly something clicks emotionally or spiritually here. Okay. The Hangman here with Judgment together is giving me seeing something differently, having some sort of realization. This could be an awakening, or you're finally understanding why something happened here. There's a strong I can't unsee this now type of energy here. This Page of Wands tells me this weekend also brings communication, curiosity, excitement, or someone reaching out unexpectedly here. You might receive some good news. 3203 on my timer. For some of you Virgos, this is literally somebody popping back up after a period of silence, okay, wanting to test the waters. For others of you, it's you suddenly getting motivation back after feeling emotionally drained or disconnected. And then you get this Ace of Cups. Okay, that's the emotional centerpiece of the reading. This could be new feelings, emotional renewal, peace returning, a genuine connection here. Okay, for some of you, this is romance or flirting. For others, this is just relief. Okay, like finally feeling emotionally alive again after carrying stress for too long. But this Five of Swords tells me there's still tension attached to this situation. Somebody here may be overthinking, defensive, stubborn, or trying to win instead of just being honest. Okay, there's a mental conflict happening alongside emotional openness. So this feels like I want this, but I don't fully trust it yet. Or I'm happy, but part of me is waiting for the other shoe to drop. This Page of Pentacles says the weekend ends in a more grounded place, though. This is small progress, practical conversations, planning, rebuilding trust slowly, or focusing on something tangible instead of emotional chaos. Alright, and that Ten of Wands at the bottom of the deck underneath here. Virgo, you're tired. Okay, not just physically, mentally tired. Emotionally tired. Spiritually carrying too much at once. Okay? The interesting thing is this reading feels like less like external chaos and more like you're finally realizing what's been weighing you down here. The burden becomes visible now. And once you can clearly see it, you can start putting it down piece by piece. Okay? So the vibe of this weekend, you may spend part of the weekend deep in thought, replaying situations, realizing who or what drains your energy, while also receiving a small emotional opening that reminds you life is not always heavy as it's felt lately. Okay? There's a mixture of emotional softness and mental exhaustion here. Okay? But somebody may reach out, apologize, flirt, want to reconnect or test the energy with you. But it looks like you're moving carefully this time, okay? Just know that not every battle needs another round. And some clarity only arrives once you stop fighting yourself emotionally here, okay? Might need to go within here. All right. So next we got, that's all I have for you, Virgo. Let's move on to Libra. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Libra? What is the vibe for the upcoming weekend for my Libras? What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for my Libras? One more shuffle. Libras. 7 of Swords. 3 of Swords. The Emperor. Justice. 10 of Pentacles. The World. 9 of Pentacles. So Libra, looks like you're in your element here with Justice. Okay. This weekend feels like a massive reality check mixed with a I know my worth now kind of energy. There's a very strong theme here of seeing people, situations, and even yourself more clearly than before. Okay, right out the gate, you've got the 7 of Swords here with the 3 of Swords. That's 10 swords here. Something may be ending or need to come to an end. But some of you are recognizing where something has been emotionally dishonest, emotionally unavailable, sneaky, inconsistent, manipulative, or just flat out disappointing. This doesn't even have to be a romantic for all of you either. This could be a friend, a family member, a workplace situation, or somebody who kept giving half-truths while expecting full access to you emotionally. The thing though, Libra, you're not sitting in confusion anymore. Okay? Because then you move into the Emperor and Justice, your energy. Okay, that's powerful for you. Specifically since Justice, again, is your energy. This feels like regaining control, emotional detachment from clarity, setting boundaries, seeing consequences play out, choosing logic over emotional chaos. Some of you are becoming very cold towards someone this weekend. Not in a cruel way, but in a I can't keep abandoning myself to keep this connection alive type way. There's a strong possibility somebody tries to return, explain themselves, smooth things over, or regain access to you after creating heartbreak or instability. But you feel extremely hard to manipulate here. The Emperor with the Justice says the scales are balancing, and somebody may not like the outcome here. Okay. So the Ten of Pentacles, the World, and the Nine of Pentacles completely shifts the energy though. Okay, this is independence, elevation, stability, completion, self-value here, and leveling up. Okay, some of you are realizing you're better off than you thought. Okay, you don't actually need the person or the situation. Peace is more valuable than attachment. Okay, your future matters more than temporary emotions. Okay, this honestly looks like a weekend where you start emotionally closing a chapter that's been draining you for a long time. 4050 on my timer. And for some of you, this could literally be cutting contact, emotionally withdrawing, okay, unfollowing someone, declining reconciliation, okay, and being more focused on money, work, or your home. Okay, spending time alone and actually enjoying it. And for others, this is internal, like your spirit finally getting tired of carrying emotional confusion. Okay, but the overall vibe, Libra, looks like you're reclaiming your power this weekend, quietly, elegantly, but very firmly, okay? Underneath all of this feels like I learned the lesson, now I'm choosing myself. Alright, so that's what I have for you, Libra. Let's move on to Scorpio. What's the vibe for Scorpio this upcoming weekend? What's the vibe for Scorpio this upcoming weekend? Page of Cups, Three of Swords, Queen of Cups, King of Cups, Five of Swords, Four of Cups, with the King of Pentacles underneath all of this. Ay, 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 ay. So Scorpio, this weekend feels emotionally loaded, and somebody's feelings are a lot deeper than what they're showing on the surface here. There's this energy of something just arriving emotionally, a message, a realization, an apology. I also see emotional trigger here, or even somebody suddenly acting softer or more vulnerable than usual here with this Page of Cups coming in first. But immediately after that, you hit the Three of Swords. So this doesn't feel lighthearted. This feels like emotions getting stirred up around hurt, disappointment, separation, rejection, or something somebody has been trying to emotionally suppress. But what's interesting is this Queen of Cups and the King of Cups. This is soulmate energy. 4435 on my timer. This is soulmate energy showing up together right in the center. That's a matching pair. Heavy emotional mirror energy. Okay, this could absolutely be about two people who still emotionally care about each other, even if the situation itself is messy, tense, distant. or emotionally complicated. Some of you are dealing with a strong water sign energy here. Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces. But this feels more like two people who understand each other emotionally without even needing to say much. Okay, but this Five of Swords changes the tone. That's pride, ego, defensiveness. Somebody wanting to win instead of resolve things peacefully. Okay, this can even be mind games. Passive aggressive behavior. So one person may reach out emotionally, but then the conversation turns weird, cold, avoidant, or emotionally manipulative. It almost feels like both people care, but somebody's emotional wounds are making them act difficult or guarded. Then you hit this Four of Cups and it feels like emotional dissatisfaction afterward. Okay, somebody could end up sitting there replaying their interaction thinking, why does this still hurt me? Why do I still care? Okay, what does this feel, or why does this feel unfinished? There's also a strong possibility this weekend brings emotional exhaustion from constantly trying to understand somebody who keeps sending mixed signals here. Now, the King of Pentacles underneath all of this is interesting because underneath the emotional chaos, somebody actually wants stability, consistency, commitment, or security. This could even be somebody who normally appears emotionally controlled, mature, or financially stable, but secretly has a lot of emotional vulnerability underneath. Okay, for some of you, this is somebody trying to maintain composure while internally going through it emotionally here. Okay, this feels like hearing from someone you still have unresolved feelings for, or an emotional conversation reopening old wounds here, or someone acting caring one minute and distant the next, realizing somebody still has feelings even if they pretend they don't. Or this is emotionally pulling back because the connection feels too painful or complicated right now. So you don't have any major energy in this reading, but there is two kings in this reading, an earth sign and a water sign, with this Queen of Cups. So this may be two people that want commitment, stability, security. But the biggest lesson here is emotional honesty, because this spread screams feelings are present, but communication and ego are getting in the way here. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Scorpio. Let's move on to Sagittarius. I was supposed to have been clocked out a long time ago, but it's all good. So let's see what the vibe for Sagittarius is. What is the vibe for Sagittarius this upcoming weekend? Okay, you had a couple that popped out here, but we don't ignore those. The vibe for the upcoming weekend here for Sagittarius. This is the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Sag. Alright, Sag, let's see. Ten of Swords, Five of Swords, the Emperor, the Magician, Judgment, Five of Wands, Eight of Wands. We got Aries, Gemini, Scorpio energy here. So this weekend feels intense, mentally loud, and very something that's reached its breaking point. So now action has to happen type energy. Okay, the overall vibe here feels like somebody hitting an emotional or mental limit. Okay, Ten of Swords, Five of Swords immediately says exhaustion from drama, conflict, ego, battles, overthinking, betrayal, or a situation that has just been dragging you down mentally, Sagittarius. Some of you are completely done entertaining certain people, conversations, or environments. There's a strong, I can't keep doing this energy here. So this spread kind of shifts fast with the Emperor and the Magician together. That's powerful. That combination says Sagittarius starts pulling themselves back together through control, focus, confidence, communication, planning, or taking authority over a situation. Okay, somebody here goes from feeling defeated to suddenly deciding, no, I'm handling this. Okay, this could be you setting boundaries, confronting somebody directly, reclaiming your power, organizing your life, making a decision, or refusing to let chaos control your emotions anymore. Okay, and then you got Judgment here, which is huge. Awakening, realization, final decisions. Something becomes a crystal clear this weekend. A truth gets acknowledged. Somebody may reach out. There could be an important conversation, confrontation, apology, or realization that changes how you view a situation moving forward. Okay, this can also feel like karma, accountability, or the moment you can't ignore anymore. Okay, but the tension is still here because of the Five of Wands. There's conflict around this transformation. Competing opinions, arguments, stress, inner frustration, or people pulling at you from different directions, Sag. This could even be family tension, relationship disagreements, okay, workplace competition. Five of Swords, Five of Wands are just emotional overstimulation here. Then you get this Eight of Wands underneath here. Rapid movement, communication, momentum. Could also be travel. Okay, messages, calls, plans, sudden decisions, emotional outbursts, unexpected updates. Okay, something breaks the stagnant energy here. It honestly feels like after a buildup of stress or silence, everything starts happening at once here. Okay, but the deeper lesson of this spread feels like you're recognizing where chaos has been draining your energy, and you're realizing you need stronger control over what and who you allow into your mental space. Okay, the Emperor besides the Magician is reminding you that your energy becomes stronger the moment you stop reacting emotionally to everything around you and start moving with intention here. So I feel like you're finally being fed up with somebody's behavior. Okay, cutting through manipulation or mind games, deciding to take your power back after feeling emotionally drained. But this weekend does not feel calm for you, Sagittarius, but it does feel clarifying. Okay, the kind of weekend where by Sunday night, you know exactly where you stand with somebody or exactly what needs to change moving forward here. Okay? All right. That's what I got, Sag. Let's move to Capricorn. Hopefully I don't run out of space for this video. All right. What's the vibe for Capricorn for the upcoming weekend? What is the vibe of Capricorn's upcoming weekend? What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend for Capricorn? Should have chosen another tarot deck here. What's the vibe for Capricorn for the upcoming weekend? Give me one more shuffle. Let's see. The World. Magician. 8 of Wands. Page of Wands. 3 of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Queen of Pentacles underneath here. So, all the fixed signs. Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio energy here. Okay. Sagittarius, Gemini. So this weekend feels like movement, momentum, okay, and a chapter shifting phase. You got a lot of forward energy here, but it doesn't feel chaotic. It feels like things finally start to line up after a period of waiting or feeling stuck here. Okay, the World here with the Magician is powerful. This looks like wrapping up one phase of your life while immediately stepping into another one with more confidence, control, and intention. Some of you are realizing you actually have more influence over a situation than you thought. Okay, there's this energy of, okay, enough waiting. I know what I want now. You may also notice people responding to you differently this weekend. Like your energy is louder without you even trying. This 8 of Wands and this Page of Wands together can bring sudden communication, exciting news, invitations, plans changing quickly, or a spontaneous movement. Somebody could message you out of nowhere, or you may suddenly feel inspired to go somewhere. Post something, create something, or reconnect with life again after being mentally checked out for a while. Okay, there's also strong travel or a distance energy here. The 3 of Wands here feels like looking ahead instead of behind you. Alright, some of you Capricorns are seriously thinking about future plans, relocating, expanding something online here, or opening yourself up to opportunities outside your usual comfort zone. You could even find yourself talking to people from different places or thinking bigger than you normally do. Then you end with this Wheel of Fortune, which makes the whole weekend feel faded almost, like the universe pushing events into motion, whether you plan for them or not. Okay, timing matters here. Random encounters won't feel random. Delays may suddenly clear up, or something could shift very quickly in your favor here. Okay, and the Queen of Pentacles underneath everything, your energy overall looks grounded, attractive, abundant, and focused on stability. Okay, even if things move fast this weekend, you're not losing yourself in it. Okay, people may actually see you as someone who has their life together. Okay, even if internally you're still trying to figure things out here. So this feels like a weekend where you stop shrinking yourself mentally. You may catch yourself realizing you've outgrown certain people, routines, or situations. There's excitement here. Confidence returning, conversations picking up, and a sense that life is finally moving again after feeling repetitive or stagnant. Somebody could also suddenly take interest in you, Capricorn. Okay? Reach back out or show stronger effort than before. Alright, that's what I have for you, Capricorn. Let's see, Aquarius. I might just do these, start making this a part of my readings here. I don't know. I might. So let's move on to Aquarius. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend here for Aquarius? 101 on my timer. What's the vibe for the upcoming weekend here for Aquarius? I have to start switching out my decks throughout the reading. Let's get a couple more shuffles for what's the vibe for Aquarius upcoming weekend. One more shuffle for Aquarius upcoming weekend. King of Pentacles, Seven of Swords, Seven of Wands, the Hermit, the World, the High Priestess, and the Page of Swords here. I am so sick of this Seven of Swords. So far you got Virgo energy, all the fixed signs, Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, you Aquarius, and then we got Taurus, Cancer, possibly Pisces. So you might be very observant this weekend, guarded, and strategic here. You got a lot of quiet energy here, Aquarius. Not loud action, not emotional chaos, but more like somebody sitting back, reading the room, watching everybody's behavior before deciding their next move here. So, first off, the strongest signs, again, yeah, I mentioned Virgo. Okay, but Virgo with the Hermit energy, that's fixed earth energy, King of Pentacles, and heavy intuitive energy, the High Priestess. The spread feels like you or somebody around you is moving in silence for a reason here. Okay, this King of Pentacles with this Seven of Swords immediately feels like somebody trying to maintain control, stability, appearances, or power while hiding what they're really thinking here. This could absolutely be someone acting calculated, emotionally unavailable, sneaky, private, or just strategically distant. Okay, for some of you, this is somebody who's watching everything but revealing very little. For others of you, this is you protecting your energy and not wanting everybody in your business this weekend. Okay, then you got this Seven of Wands beside that, which feels defensive as hell. Boundaries, guardedness, don't cross me. Somebody may feel pressured, questioned, or emotionally cornered, and instead of opening up, they pull back harder. So the Hermit here with the High Priestess together, this is one of the most spiritually quiet combinations here in the tarot. Alright, this is deep intuition, isolation, pulling away from noise, watching more than speaking. Some of you are going to feel extremely intuitive this weekend, like you can tell something is off without anybody saying it directly. Okay, pay attention to your gut here, because this spread screams hidden information, unspoken tension, and silent observation. So the World card is sitting in the middle of all of this. Something feels like it's reaching a closing chapter emotionally, mentally, or socially. Some of you are emotionally distancing yourself from a cycle, a person, a friendship, or a situation you've outgrown. Okay, there's this feeling of I see things differently now. Okay, it's not dramatic energy, it's detached clarity. Then you end with this Page of Swords here, yeah. Watching, checking, curious energy. Somebody could be spying on social media, keeping tabs, lurking, wanting information here, or trying to figure out what somebody's next move is without directly asking. Okay, communication feels indirect here. I'll observe first before I speak here. So this honestly feels like one of those weekends where Aquarius is reading between the lines more than listening to what's being said directly here. And the crazy thing is, your intuition is probably right, Aquarius. Okay. So last but not least, Pisces. Alright, what's the vibe for Pisces for this upcoming weekend? What's the vibe? Pisces. What's the vibe for Pisces this upcoming weekend? Coming up here, what's the vibe for Pisces for this upcoming weekend? Give me one more shuffle for Pisces. Alright, let's see. 7 of Cups, King of Wands, 3 of Cups, the Tower, the High Priestess, 3 of Swords, King of Cups. So Pisces, the vibe for this weekend feels emotionally intense, unexpected. Okay. Very revealing here. There's a strong something shifts and now I can't unsee it type of energy all over this spread. The biggest sign showing up here is Scorpio and Aries energy. Okay. Through the Tower and the King of Wands. But this also feels heavily tied to emotional confrontation, hidden feelings, attraction, third party dynamics, or somebody trying to keep composure while everything underneath is boiling. You start with this 7 of Cups and this King of Wands plus this 3 of Cups, and immediately this feels like confusion around people, emotion, choices, or social situations. Some of you could be dealing with somebody charismatic, attractive, confident, or attention grabbing. But there's also a lot of mixed signals around this person. The 7 of Cups can be fantasy, illusions, emotional overload, too many options, or not fully knowing where you stand. Then the 3 of Cups adds social energy, gatherings, partying, reconnecting, texting, flirting, friends get involved, or even third-party situations for some of you. But then this Tower hits right in the middle of the spread, and that changes everything. Something unexpected could happen this weekend that emotionally shakes things up. This could be a sudden confession, an argument, seeing somebody's true intentions, finding something out, somebody drunk texting or reacting emotionally. Okay, plans suddenly changing. But this High Priestess right after the Tower tells me Pisces already feels something coming here. Your intuition in this spread is screaming. Some of you are picking up on somebody hiding emotions, hiding another connection, avoiding honesty, or trying to act emotionally detached when they're really not. Okay, this weekend feels like your intuition gets confirmed about something here. And then you move into this Three of Swords with this King of Cups underneath. That combination feels like emotional pain mixed with emotional restraint here. Somebody here is hurt but not fully showing it. The King of Cups is emotionally deep but controlled. This is somebody trying to hold themselves together emotionally, even while hurting, jealous, overwhelmed, or emotionally triggered underneath. Okay, for some of you Pisces, this could absolutely be a situation where somebody acts unbothered. 111 on my timer, but they're not. Okay, feelings come out unexpectedly, or an emotional conversation changes the dynamic here, but somebody regrets how they handled things. Or this could be a third party or emotional triangle situation that becomes obvious here. But what's interesting is this King of Wands and this King of Cups both showing up. That can sometimes point towards two different energies, people entirely, or one person switching between passion, control, and emotional vulnerability. Either way, somebody here is struggling between ego and emotions here. Okay, so this feels like one of those weekends where you walk in expecting light fun or distractions, but emotionally things get deeper than expected. A casual interaction turns serious, or a hidden tension becomes obvious. Somebody's mask cracks. Somebody may try to distract themselves socially while privately going through emotional chaos here. But the Tower clears illusions that the Seven of Cups created, and you're being pushed to stop romanticizing what intuition already knows. The High Priestess in this spread is your truth detector. If something feels off this weekend, it probably is. If somebody's actions and emotions don't match, you're going to notice it immediately. Okay? So trust your intuition. Trust what you already know. Alright, so that's the vibe for all the Zodiacs for the upcoming weekend. You guys, I'm going to leave you there. And make sure that you all stay grounded, stay protected, okay? And most of all, stay rooted in your truth here. Okay, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, guys.